An American adaptation of the Korean classic movie My Sassy Girl follows the story of Charles Bello, or Charlie, who resides in Indiana with his incredibly nice parents. Charlie has adopted their kindness and is known for being a genuinely nice person. His dream is to attend university, and he gets accepted into business school with the goal of becoming a manager at Tiller King, where his father works as a mechanic. Charlie also says that his cousin, Bart, has passed away. One day, Charlie and his friend go to the park to pick up some girls, but Charlie is not interested in casual dating and meaningless sex like his friend. He is focused on his studies and believes that no woman or girl is right for him at the moment. However, his perspective changes when he encounters an interesting girl named Jordan Rourke, who comes across as a bit of a ditz. Despite his cousin's urging, Charlie doesn't introduce himself to Jordan. Jordan Rourke is a rich, fun-loving girl who is not concerned about social norms or adhering to how a normal girl should behave. Later, in the subway, Charlie sees Jordan Rourke again, and she is behaving erratically, almost as if she's drunk and on the verge of falling off the platform. Charlie saves her from falling and helps her when she demands a man to give up his seat for an older person before she faints. Charlie carries Jordan and lays her on a bench before he boards the train. However, he can't bring himself to leave her there and goes back to Jordan, who is already sleeping. He decides to carry her to their apartment so she can continue sleeping. When he arrives, Leo, his roommate, is asleep and assumes Charlie Jordan. Leo believes that what Charles did amounts to kidnapping, and they end up being brought to the university security because of it. Later on, Jordan calls Charlie, asking who he is and what happened in the subway. She instructs him to meet her at an art museum that night. Charlie shows up and Jordan appears, asking about the events of the subway. She seems to doubt his explanation. Jordan reveals that she is actually a rich girl who enjoys drinking and dresses in fancy clothes. Despite her quirky and active behavior, Jordan thanks Charles for not leaving her behind in the subway. She opens up about her fiancé dumping her. Irritated by her behavior, Charles initially leaves her there, but he eventually comes back to offer her consolation by giving her a hanky. As they talk, Jordan cries and hugs Charlie's leg, while explaining why her fiancé broke up with her. Once again, due to drunkenness, Jordan faints and starts wandering around, looking for her correct address. Charlie discovers that the Rourkes are a wealthy family in New York, as evidenced by their luxurious neighborhood, and a doorman who knows Jordan Rourke very well. During class, Jordan interrupts the lecture to get Charlie's attention by lying to the professor about being pregnant. As a result, the professor kicks Charlie out of the class to deal with the fake pregnancy situation. Jordan waits for him, and Charlie is upset with her for disrupting his class discussion, as he is focused on his future. Despite his objections, Jordan urges him to hang out with her, and he eventually cuts class to do so. At the skating rink, where they are playing together, Jordan notices a guy throwing a cigarette on the ice rink. Angry, she grabs a hockey club and lightly hits him, demanding that he pick up the cigarette but he threw. The man runs away, and Jordan continues chasing him with the club, accidentally hitting Charlie in the process. To help Charlie, Jordan buys a cart from a homeless person. Jordan shares an excerpt of a movie she is writing, set in the year 2037, where a fictional character named Rose travels to the Titanic incident to try to reverse it, but the ship ends up sinking anyway. Charlie reimagines one of the characters as himself. Charlie decides that they should part ways, but Jordan doesn't listen and brings him to a doctor to check for a head injury and concussion. To Charlie's surprise, the doctor turns out to be Jordan's father, who advises Charlie not to get close to his daughter, calling him a bad influence. Charlie brushes off the doctor's rude behavior, seeing it as a fatherly gesture, and continues on his way. Jordan appears to be sad as they part ways, and she runs to hug Charlie before running back inside. Confused, Charlie takes a taxi and follows the doctor's advice religiously, not sleeping, and just keeps sending emails to the Tiller King company. Later, Jordan asks Charlie to spend her birthday together with him. They go to the subway platform, and Jordan scolds a kid drawing on the platform. She suggests playing a game where, if anyone passes through the red line, there will be a punishment. Charlie jokingly suggests kissing, but Jordan counters with slapping. So every time a person steps on the line, Jordan receives a playful slap, and if a person crosses over, Charlie receives one. A marching band passes by but skips the line, and each member steps on it alternately, resulting in them playfully slapping each other. Jordan tells Charlie that he is too kind for his own good. To add to the birthday celebration, Charlie and Jordan trespass into a scary amusement park. They ride the tunnel ride, and as they finish, they are stopped by a guy with a toy rifle, who is not part of the park's program. The guy points the rifle at them, and they are forced to walk away. When asked about their relationship, they deny it. The guy turns out to be a soldier who was dumped by his girlfriend while he was in service. The park guard chases the young soldier, and he decides to end his own life with the rifle, but Jordan persuades him not to do it. However, Charlie makes a joke that upsets the soldier, and he raises his rifle again. The situation escalates, and the soldier decides to shoot Charlie, but he is intercepted by police officers, and neither party wants to stand down. Jordan tries to negotiate with the young soldier to understand what happened to him. The police apprehend the soldier and tell Charlie to take care of Jordan. Jordan raises her eyebrows at their claim of being just friends but wanting more than that, and they decide to start seeing each other. They hang out more and even try various activities like squash and kendo. Despite finding some of it painful, Charlie genuinely enjoys being with Jordan. However, he still remains focused on his future and studies. One evening, as Charlie enters the restaurant, he notices something strangely familiar on the wall, a black and white photo of his cousin, Bart, who bears a striking resemblance to him, along with his Aunt Sally. The restaurant's matron informs him that his cousin and aunt are regular patrons there, sparking Charlie's curiosity about this strange coincidence. He says in passing that the cousin is greatly missed. Excitedly, Jordan shares her latest creative idea for a TV show, a thrilling bounty hunter story set in the wild, wild West. Her eyes sparkle with excitement as she describes the adventures and quirky characters, but Charlie can't help but find the concept a bit whimsical and questions the recurring theme of heroines from the future. Intriguingly, Jordan surprises Charlie with a mysterious gift, which seems to have been plucked right out of his mailbox. The invitation inside is for an interview with none other than Mr. Phipps, the Tiller King sales representative. Despite his initial annoyance at the invasion of his privacy, Charlie decides to seize the opportunity and attend the interview. During the interview at the restaurant, Charlie is taken aback to discover that their waitress is none other than Jordan herself. The situation takes a humorous turn as they find themselves caught in this unexpected twist. Despite the initial surprise, they carry on with the interview, and the sales manager is quick to appreciate Charlie's father and his strong work ethic, which reflects positively on him. As they engage in conversation, Jordan serves the drinks with a flair of charm, taking a seat next to Charlie, making it evident that there is a connection between them. Mr. Phipps, learning that Jordan is a Rourke, becomes even more pleased with their acquaintance. However, Jordan's behavior is a bit unpredictable and unconventional, as she playfully requests alcoholic drinks, showcasing her quirky and rowdy side. The atmosphere becomes a mix of amusement and awkwardness as she jokingly mentions the different versions of how they met, teasing Charlie with their quirky encounters. Charlie can't help but laugh nervously. Despite the lightheartedness, things take a turn when Jordan's behavior leads her to pass out once again, causing some embarrassment for Charlie. Unfortunately, this incident seems to put a dent in his chances of landing his dream career at Tiller King. Leo is quick to voice his concerns, stating that Jordan's erratic behavior is making a mess of Charlie's life. He points out the apparent lack of physical intimacy between them as a drawback, but Charlie remains steadfast in his feelings for Jordan. Despite the challenges, Charlie can't help but admit that he is hopelessly in love with Jordan. He recognizes the difficulties they may face, but he believes that beneath her wild antics lies a love that can withstand any trials, even if it is Jordan herself. Later that night, Jordan calls Charlie. With a hint of sincerity in her voice, Jordan apologizes for potentially jeopardizing his career. In her defense, she passionately claims that her intentions were to protect him from himself, believing that meeting new people can open new doors. In an effort to make amends, Jordan suggests a heartfelt celebration in the Arts and Sciences room to mark the 33rd day since they first met. She playfully instructs Charlie to bring a single rose, teasing him with her bossy nature before promptly hanging up the phone. Despite Charlie's initial reluctance, he finds himself unable to resist Jordan's magnetic pull. Armed with a bouquet of roses, he heads to the venue. However, as fate would have it, the escalator proves to be a worthy adversary, causing him to inadvertently drop the entire bouquet. In the midst of the gentle chaos, he manages to rescue a single, precious stem. As Charlie enters the auditorium, his heart races with excitement and nervousness. There she is, dressed in a stunning red outfit, her fingers gracefully dancing across the piano keys as she begins to play Pachelbel's Canon. Mesmerized by her talent, he takes slow, deliberate steps down the aisle, his emotions teetering between joy and being on the verge of tears. At this moment, surrounded by the music that binds their souls, Charlie feels an overwhelming rush of affection for Jordan, as if all the colors of the world have converged into her. The journey they have embarked on together has been filled with quirks and adventures, but it is precisely those moments that have forged a profound connection between them. As the melody fills the room, a twinkle of hope sparkles in Charlie's eyes, a silent promise that he will continue to be by Jordan's side, come what may. In a monologue, Charlie expresses his commitment to support Jordan, no matter what she is going through, and emphasizes that he will be there for her, despite her quirky and sometimes psycho behavior. He wants to see how their story unfolds. On the stage, seemingly ignoring the audience, Charlie gives Jordan the stem of the rose, and the audience applauds the heartwarming scene. Charlie then takes Jordan out of the room, and they end up sitting by the sea, though they are not allowed to sit on the barricade. Jordan's feet are sore, and she suggests exchanging shoes, but Charlie declines her crazy idea. Instead, Jordan wears his shoes, but they both laugh at how uncomfortably large they are on her feet. They enjoy each other's company as they seat themselves by the sea, cherishing the moments spent together. As Charlie weaves his tale, Jordan's curious gaze turns towards the water, and she playfully suggests they perch on the ledge. Initially brushing off her idea, Charlie's resistance crumbles under Jordan's charm, and he reluctantly agrees. But fate, it seems, has a whimsical plan, as Charlie finds himself tumbling into the water, leaving Jordan no choice but to swiftly swim to his rescue. Gasping for breath and soaking from the rain, they both resurface, their faces flush with a mix of laughter and cold. Seeking warmth and refuge, they make their way toward Jordan's grand house. Amidst the romantic ambience, an enchanting moment hangs in the air, almost culminating in a tender kiss. However, a comical mishap interrupts the spell when Charlie accidentally nudges a vase of flowers, causing it to topple over. Despite the playful accident, laughter echoes through the room, temporarily overshadowing the tension that awaits. Dr. Rourke, Jordan's father, hears the commotion and appears, wearing a stern expression. He swiftly sends Charlie on his way, leaving Jordan and himself to confront the repercussions of their mischief. In a heated exchange of words, emotions run high as Dr. Rourke expresses his disapproval, leaving Charlie caught between a storm of parental authority and a heart that longs for a deeper connection. In the ensuing days, Charlie finds himself yearning for Jordan's presence, longing for her call that doesn't seem to come. In a local bar, he shares a lighthearted beer toast with a vivacious girl, and together they share laughter, exchanging hilarious jokes that lift his spirits. Finally, the phone rings, and it's Jordan on the line, extending an invitation to a restaurant in the park, eager to introduce him to someone. However, Charlie's heart is already entangled with the woman he met earlier, and he politely declines Jordan's invitation. Undeterred, she insists that he still come, but Charlie stands firm in his decision and hangs up, though a hint of regret tinges on his heart. As the night wears on, a sense of drunken haziness engulfs Charlie as he wanders into the restroom, only to make a surprising revelation. The girl he spent time with earlier in the bar is, in fact, a transgender woman. The discovery adds a touch of intrigue to his already eventful evening. Meanwhile, at the restaurant, Jordan engages in conversation with a French man, as Charlie arrives and joins them. The French man casually mentions that he's heard about Charlie from Jordan, referring to them as friends. Charlie, assuming that Jordan and the Frenchman are romantically involved, clarifies that they are just friends, unknowingly fueling the flames of his own complicated emotions. Unbeknownst to Charlie, Jordan's eyes glisten with unshed tears as she swiftly leaves, seeking solace in the bathroom. Gathering her composure, she returns to find the Frenchman still there, but Charlie is nowhere to be seen. The Frenchman expresses that he likes Charlie, just the way Jordan predicted. With that, Charlie left him a set of rules to follow, if the Frenchman is serious about his relationship with Jordan. The set of rules contains all the crazy quirks that Jordan is into, including her behavior when she is drunk, and what to do when she passes out. As Jordan's heart races, overwhelmed by the depth of Charlie's understanding, she embarks on a determined chase through the bustling subway. On the train platform, Charlie stands poised to board the train, unaware of the heartfelt pursuit happening just moments away. With an adrenaline-fueled burst of energy, Jordan rushes past Charlie, her eyes fixed on a higher goal. She swiftly makes her way to the announcement booth, where her conversation with the announcer is broadcasted through the subway's speakers. Amused passengers eavesdrop on their candid exchange, finding solace in the spontaneous laughter that fills the station. The announcer allows it. Jordan bares her soul, speaking directly to the man who holds her heart. Her voice rings with vulnerability and honesty as she reveals the truth behind the Frenchman earlier in the restaurant. He is nothing more than someone her father set her up with. Jordan invited him over because she wants to end it with that man. Charlie, standing in the crowd, listens intently to her heartfelt explanation. His eyes glisten with understanding and affection as he comprehends the turmoil within Jordan's heart. In that pivotal moment, he decides to honor her plea, swiftly arriving at the announcement booth. As they embrace each other, the announcer, touched by the undeniable connection between them, gently encourages them to leave. They spend the entire night dancing in the subway, even with no passengers and the subway closed. They dance everywhere, from the auditorium to the Chrysler Building in New York, and even in the lobby of Rourke's home. As the night progresses, Jordan drinks a lot, and eventually passes out. Charlie carries her again in a fireman's carry and finds a cab, taking a long route to go back to the park, and then home to the Rourke's house, with the doorman helping carry Jordan's limp body. In the following days, their relationship continues, and Jordan calls Charlie, who is very sleepy. She demands that Charlie write a well-written letter expressing his feelings for her, and she will write a heartfelt one in return. They agree to meet in Central Park for this exchange. Charlie receives another challenge from Jordan, which requires him to go to the end of the park's walkway. However, he can't hear her shouts, and Jordan starts crying, while apologizing and expressing her weaknesses. Charlie notices her tears, but can't understand what she's saying. Jordan leads Charlie to a nearby empty lot, where they bury the letters in a time capsule, agreeing to wait a year before opening them together. She becomes emotional, telling Charlie that she'll wait under a tree for that day, but she avoids giving him a direct answer to his questions. She insists that all explanations are in the letter, and he must wait to know the answers. After completing this ritual, they head to the subway platform. Jordan tells Charlie to take the first train, explaining that she has to leave. With teary eyes, she says goodbye, without providing a clear answer to Charlie. Feeling uncertain, Charlie boards the train, about to burst into tears, while Jordan looks for him from her own train. The train eventually stops and Charlie steps out, just as Jordan's train arrives, but they don't see each other. Charlie breaks the fourth wall, telling the audience that they are not meant to be together, and tearfully announcing their breakup. During the next 6 months, Charlie returns to his normal life, but finds solace in playing squash, kendo, and swimming, as well as improving himself through studying and sports. Meanwhile, Leo meets the same transgender woman that Charlie met before, and considers estate planning as a fallback career option, while sending out applications to Tiller King with little hope. However, Charlie's feelings for Jordan remain unchanged, and he keeps his promise to meet her after a year. Leo advises Charlie to see other people, instead of waiting for a whole year, but Charlie is committed to meeting Jordan as agreed. In a negotiated deal with Leo, Charlie agrees to meet with 10 different girls every month for 10 months. Surprisingly, this arrangement makes the time go by faster, and Charlie doesn't mind it. Finally, the day arrives when a year has passed, and Charlie excitedly goes to the park with the tree, which is still in its spring season, despite being autumn. However, as the time they were supposed to meet passes, there is no sign of Jordan. Charlie comes to the heart-wrenching conclusion that Jordan is not coming. Disheartened, he takes out the time capsule they buried and retrieves the letter Jordan wrote. In the letter, Jordan finally tells the truth to Charlie about everything, including the real reason why she and her fiancé broke up. It turns out that her fiancé, who looked and acted similarly to Charlie, tragically took his leaving behind a note apologizing for the pain he was in. This devastating event caused Jordan immense grief and led her to resort to excessive drinking, which her liver couldn't handle. She would often be brought home by strangers due to her intoxicated state, which is why Dr. Work disapproves of Charlie, because of how they initially met. Jordan reveals that her father, Dr. Work, is actually a kind man. A year after her fiancé's death, Jordan met with her fiancé's mother, who wanted to introduce her to a man as a way to help her move on from the loss. However, it was during this meeting that Jordan unexpectedly met Charlie, who bears a resemblance to her late fiancé in his strength and kindness. Jordan confesses that the quirks and activities she made Charlie do were things that she once did with her fiancé, attempting to cope with the pain. She explains how they visited their favorite restaurant, and the ocean where she pushed him into the water, reminiscent of how her fiancé passed. But in an ironic twist, Jordan saved Charlie, just as she would have saved her fiancé. However, she feels guilty about finding happiness with Charlie, not because he reminds her of her fiancé, but because she genuinely likes Charlie for who he is. Jordan admits her love for Charlie, but acknowledges her ongoing struggle with healing from her fiancé's loss. She explains that's why she didn't appear at the agreed time, and asks for more time to fully recover emotionally. Despite all this, Jordan assures Charlie that their love story isn't over yet, and asks him to wait for her until she's completely herself again, and ready to love. Later on, Jordan appears a day later than Charlie, and encounters an old man sketching near the tree. The old man claims it as his tree, and shares that they both have a secret. He notices the rock pile marking the time capsule, and reveals that the tree was replaced after being destroyed by lightning. He asks if it's still the same, hinting at the significance of the tree. The old man admits that he read both Charlie's and Jordan's letters, and knows about Jordan's pain. He urges Jordan to call Charlie, but she hesitates, unsure if it's their destiny to be together. The old man shares his perspective on destiny, suggesting that it's the effort of other people influencing their lives. However, Jordan remains stubborn. Encouraged by the old man, Jordan finally reads Charlie's letter, and becomes emotional as she reads the content. Charlie expresses his happiness for meeting someone as unique and unpredictable as her. He wants to be the man by her side, even though he knows it might not happen. The memories of their wonderful moments together bring tears to Jordan's eyes. Later on, Charlie gets a job, although not at the Tiller King company. Despite his parents' slight disappointment, he takes it positively and decides to live his life to the fullest. Charlie and Leo discuss his chances of being with Jordan again while gazing at the Chrysler building. In the following days, Jordan meets with her ex-fiancé's mother again at dinner. It turns out that the mother is the same person in the black and white photo shown at the entrance of the restaurant. The mother expresses her happiness for Jordan. Just then, Charlie arrives at the restaurant, and to their surprise, the ex-fiancé's mother is actually Charlie's Aunt Sally. And Charlie's cousin Bart and Jordan's fiancé is the same person. Sally intended to introduce both of them a year ago, but neither of them showed up. With joy, Charlie and Jordan finally meet each other again and share a kiss, leaving Aunt Sally puzzled about their apparent relationship.